In service. Memory phone.
You always get more with the Pep Boys oil change package. A $60 value, all for just $27. Same-day service is available. Make your appointment today at pepboys.com. Pep Boys doesn't have place for it. Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, we're enjoying a tasty lunch with the Tino's feta on our salads. Super delicious.
Absolutely. Let's see what Yaya thinks.
This looks like the pornography.
What?
Pornography?
No, it's not.
Pornography!
Don't worry, friends. At least Yaya approves of you eating a Tino's feta. Because a Tino's feta is the green way, taking extra time and care for creamy and rich taste. A Tino's, maybe the only thing approved by Yaya.
Attention, well, everyone. You can now try Snapshot for your breakfast free for 30 days. Just plug this into your car and your good driving can save you up to 30%. You can even try it without switching your insurance.
Now you can test drive Snapshot before you switch. Visit Progressive.com today. With hot wire low prices, we can afford to take an extra trip this year.
First, Boston.
Then San Francisco.
Hotwire checks the competition rates every day so they can guarantee their low prices.
So our hotels were half price.
Hotwire.com. HLN Monday night. There's a reason America knows Dr. Drew.
Phones are infinitely fascinating to me.
He helps us all understand why people do what they do. Dr. Drew, Monday night, 9 Eastern on HLN.
Music Hammer. Radio DJ. Red Carpet Pro. Next, the story you haven't heard. He's got the inside.
For the past 10 years, our graduates shared their stories. Now they come together for the first time.
I had to make a positive change. That negative became a positive. I chose ITT Technical Institute. I was an ordinary factory worker.
I need to do something. I said I need to do something with my team before I get off. But she wanted me to make a video.
Helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute. Education for the future.
For your campus tour, call 800-630-0670.
If you're living with diabetes and have Medicare or private insurance, here are some great news. Call United States Medical Supply today, and we'll send you the smallest glucose meter in the world, absolutely free.
Sign that they had something big planned for this trip. I will tell you that we just don't know a whole lot right now in terms of what is going to happen at this event, but as Wolf and John King and others have been mentioning, the fact that they're staging this event on the USS with Paul Ryan. And he's
Welcoming that he denied.
Because no one's rights should be violated like that.
This search was quite different from the search of her purse. They need the flexibility to act immediately and effectively when they reasonably believe that the child's health and risk are at issue.
Tonight, a mother jumps to her daughter's defense after she claims faculty at her former high school forced the girl to bare her breasts. The then 15-year-old student says it all started when another student made up a fake story that she had drugs on her because the two girls liked the same boy. That's when faculty members stepped in. But what happens next is the subject of heated debate. In the mother's lawsuit, which I'm holding in my hands, the girl claims the school performed a, quote, unreasonable strip search, that her daughter told two members of the faculty she felt uncomfortable removing her bra or showing anybody her breast, but that she was coerced into lifting up her shirt and her bra and exposing her breast. She claims that a faculty member, quote, placed her hands on her breasts, and the girl was visibly upset during and after the strip search. But the Turner School District in Kansas has a totally different story. They told us this was not a strip search because the student was never asked to take off any clothing other than her shoes. Instead, she was asked to, quote, pull her bra forward with her shirt untucked, but otherwise fully clothed so that any contraband hidden in her bra would fall out, end quote. They also say all this took place in the privacy of the school nurse's office with two female school employees present. They want the lawsuit dismissed. Joining me now is the mother who is suing the school, Amanda Sandage. Amanda, what did your daughter tell you about the precise incident where you're in the nurse's office? What did she say happened?
She explained to me that the nurse had her pull her shirt out.
I'm almost
with her
done. I'm
bra,
almost done.
And she was physically touched on her breast. And then when they did not find anything that way, they told her that she needed to pull her shirt and her bra up and give a full frontal exposure to both of them.
So what we have here are two totally different stories. If you hold on for 1 second, Amanda, Holly Hughes, you know, if indeed the school, somebody from the faculty touched her breasts, that is, I think, outrageous. And the school is claiming that no, they just asked her to pull out her bra to shake it out to see if anything fell out. Now, it's a he said, she said, except it's a school said, student said.
That's exactly what it's going to boil down to, Jane, because the United States Supreme Court has already looked at this issue. In 2009, there was an Arizona student's case who went all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they said, hey, look, you cannot have a student expose themselves like this unless there is a risk of student safety. So this is the exact same type of thing where the tipster, who we later found out was lying, said, oh, she's got a little bit of marijuana. So a little bit of marijuana is not a huge risk to student safety, and this behavior, if it bears out to be true, if this goes to a jury, and a jury believes the student over the school administrators, this is absolutely an unreasonable search and seizure, and the student will prevail.
Amanda, I want to ask you, how was your daughter impacted by this experience?
I'm almost
What
done.
has been the thought in her life?
About a couple more minutes.
I had to pull her out of school after this. She has lost the trust that should be there in an educational institution. These people have violated her. She feels very violated, humiliated. She is just not the same child that she was before this happened at all. And, you know, I want to see her, you know, get back into the education system somehow, you know, some way. But as far as going back to school, she is just so anxious and is so upset about even considering going back into another school.
And Amanda, I think one of the reasons is that when people have sort of a boundary, they have a line around their bodies, and they can feel violated if that boundary is pierced in any way. There's been so much controversy about pat-downs and strip searches in general, especially in this era, post 9/11. Many of them involve the TSA allegedly, purportedly touching, going too far. You remember this from YouTube.
If you touch my junk, I'm gonna have you arrested. And I don't understand how a sexual assault can be a condition of my flying. It would be if you weren't the government. I'd like only my wife and maybe my doctor to touch me there.
Yeah, and he made that line famous, junk. You're touching my junk. Danny Savalas, why is it that people feel so violated when somebody that they're not intimate with touches them in an area that is a private area?
Well, look, we're talking about students. Remember, students have a diminished expectation of privacy. It's not like adults. Your little snowflake, when they're in school, can be searched on a reasonable suspicion. It's a lower standard. So although these searches are very intrusive, the question will ultimately be, what kind of search was it? Was it just a pat-down? Was it the kind where you pull the bra out and you pull the shirt out? Or was it a full strip search? And if it's anything involved touching the breasts or the buttocks, something like that has to be justified at least by something more than just the report that we got that was unsubstantiated.
Well, one of the things Holly Hughes, criminal defense attorney, in this lawsuit says that this young lady, this 15-year-old, did not have a history of drugs. She didn't associate with drugs. She hadn't been in trouble when it came to drugs. It'd be one thing if somebody was a troublemaker and a known bad apple, but if this girl never had a problem, does that weigh in?
Not really, because let's face it, every criminal has a first time, Jane. So if in fact this was a legitimate tip, then they would have been absolutely correct to search her locker, search her backpack, and do an outside pat down and maybe say shake your clothing. What puts this over the line is when, if what the young lady alleges is proven out in court, that they made her expose herself. That's what takes it into the area of unreasonable search and seizure.
And my final question to Amanda, we have very little time, but apparently in this lawsuit,
Almost
you said
done.
that
I need to
somebody
meet
from the
someone
staff
else on my
allegedly,
team.
according to you, threatened your daughter with suspension if she told anybody about this strip search?
They sure did.
Really?
They sure did.